We're only a couple of days away from the UK general election, meaning that this could very well be the final monthly update of the Conservative government. More on that later though. First of all, here's a roundup of the Bath rental market. Well, here are the usual statistics that summarise the local market, and actually June has seen a bit of a flurry of activity compared to the lull that we had in May. On average, it's taken just under 13 days to rent a property. That's the time from the property coming on the market to the landlord accepting an offer from a tenant. That's about average for recent times. The rent we've achieved stands at just above 100% of the asking rent. Now that is because sometimes tenants do take it upon themselves to offer over and above what we're asking for a property. This is exceptional and should not be expected. And actually, this is an issue that has hit the headlines recently, with the Labour Party pledging to crack down on the practice of bidding wars for rental properties. I should make it very clear that it is not considered good practice to encourage a tenant to offer above asking, and it's something that we never do. However, such is the level of competition for properties, especially smaller, for example, one-bedroom apartments, that tenants are aware that they have to do whatever it takes to try and secure a property over and above the competition. Now, sometimes that means that a tenant will unprompted offer a rent that is higher than the advertised rent, and an agent, of course, is duty-bound to put that offer to the landlord, who is very likely to accept. So these over and above asking offers are something that we don't go out and look for, but they do sometimes happen due to the natural market forces at play. Let's turn back to our statistics and look at average rent increases. On average during June, rents went up by 9% at the point of re-letting the property. So this is the difference between the rent being paid by the old tenant and the rent being paid by the new incoming tenant. On average, 9% higher. Now happily, in June, we certainly saw an influx of available homes coming onto the rental market. But what about tenants looking to rent these homes? Well, in June, the number of new applicants who had registered with us actively seeking to rent homes had increased by 103% compared to May. Now for context, May did seem like a very quiet month, a bit of a lull before the summer market well and truly kicked off. But however you look at it, there are certainly more than enough tenants looking to rent homes when compared to the number of properties that are available on the market. At the start of this roundup, I alluded to the upcoming general election. I'm sure we'll be hearing much more about that over the coming weeks. But for now, a quick summary of what we can expect from the parties who are most likely to win the election. Now, all of the main parties' pledges when it comes to rental properties are actually very similar. And the one thing that we can pretty much depend on is a return in some guise of the Renters Reform Bill, specifically the promise to abolish Section 21 evictions, the most common mechanism that landlords use for ending their tenancies. The Labour Party, in fact, have boldly promised to do away with this in the first 100 days of their government, which is an ambitious pledge given how long it takes to propose legislation and for that to move through Parliament. I think we should actually take this as a promise that they'll bring forward that legislation in the first 100 days of their government, and it will be passed into law at a substantially later date. Well, that's all for this month's roundup. I'm sure I'll be speaking to you very soon. Bye-bye.